Thank you, Professor Shukla. Um, Good morning to all of you. Let me start. My company, ekgaon Technologies, was started in 2002 when I was working in Ahmedabad at the Indian Institute of Management. At that time, one of the interesting things which was happening around was the information technology revolution. And it was something which was, a lot of things were happening at the same time. Things where we were talking about a very positive attitude, and then there was a bust in Silicon Valley, and there was a lot of negativity about business models and various things. At the same time, me and my co-founder, both got excited about the idea that technology can play a major role in providing and delivering services to the underserved markets. Underserved market, at that time could be a town also in India, because we're talking about an emerging economy like India, where services access is very limited, had been very limited, and it's improving now. In 2001, we met a CEO of a telecommunication company, which has now been acquired by Vodafone. And we were talking to him about future of telecommunication, mobile technology, and what is going to happen. And, we were talking to him that, is it possible that mobile being such ubiquitous device, that is it possible that it will reach rural areas and, people can start using, because we were excited about the idea that mobile phone can, enable some information services in rural area. At that time, I was working on a World Bank project. We were putting computers and laptops in rural area for getting some kind of information outreach there. And we said that, okay, mobile is more handier than a computer or a PC. So this guy, a very seasoned telecom person, and told that no, you may be optimistic about technology because you guys are technology people, but I know what market is. I know very well what market is. Mobile will never reach in 15 years anywhere in India, in rural areas. So that was 2002, and I think within 6 years, we have a very different story. We have a story where we have a huge penetration happening in underserved market in rural area. Mobile telecommunication is from being a thing of identity, or I have a mobile phone or something, is becoming a useful device, and that is creating a road which was never there in our rural markets. Because we are talking about markets, we are talking about social marketing, we are talking about how to reach that market. So we, at that time when we started ekgaon, believed that the technology in one way or other would be able to create a roadmap to this area where roads are not there. So that's what our genesis in terms of what we wanted to do was there. We were very clear we want to use technology for services, but the problem was we didn't know what to do. We didn't know what a rural customer will pay for. We are talking about service. We are a for-profit. We have always been a for-profit. And our problem was that we had no idea what the customer is going to pay for, because rural market, if you try to go back with me 10 years back, nobody actually ever thought that people there buy anything related to something called services, because that is a very, very strange word for them. Everything is to be given, not to be bought. There is no customer there. There's always a person who's receiving something. So this way, with this mindset and with this issue, we were struggling. And the reason why I was trying to come to this topic was to get you to understand how we were trying to look into this market and what we ended up doing right now. And before that, let me just try to get you to the idea of where this rural telecom penetration is going into. If you see an average rural user, it's mostly the young people who are trying to acquire mobile devices, and of course elderly as well, but not too elderly, within the 45 age group, below that. These people are acquiring mobile phone and connections, and what are they using for? That's the most important question. If you look into the usage pattern, then the highest usage in terms of service is the missed call, favorite of all the services being used. Second, I'm not even talking about voice call. Voice call is like 7th in the line of services being used in the mobile phone. Second is the ringtones. Let's come back to missed call doesn't give any revenue to the telecom company, so it's not a service as such. But second is ringtones, which is the maximum service, which is giving the maximum revenue to a telecom operator. Next is, to some extent, very little extent, is actually songs download. But people, I don't know how much people in this audience will know a rural customer. It's a very, very intelligent customer. It's not, they might be using the memory of the phone and the data card, which is available in 200 rupees these days, much more than any of you have ever used, for downloading songs from a local person, the latest song or latest video in it. So they're using songs and videos. They're seeing all kinds of videos. Let me not go explicit on that. So that's the information, that's the data that they're using, services. A very little SMS, very, very little SMS because of our language and other constraint, as you will understand. Photographs, taking photographs and sharing photographs, both ways, and videos, of course, but videos are much limited. So these are the things that they use. If you look into any telecom operators balance sheet and see what is an average revenue per customer that they're getting from a rural customer, it is below 200 rupees per month. So this is the market segment we're talking about. This is what we are talking about in terms of the customer that you have to approach and give a service. Now, if you ask me from my point of view, from a very critical person, not liked by many, is that I don't find any of these services useful that they use. Videos, songs, ringtones, for me, these are all waste of time. Is this any useful for the work that they are doing? Primarily, or primary occupation being agriculture. Are they getting any service out of that? So that's a gap we are trying to fill in. That's what for us is a market and has been a niche market for some time now, where we are looking at we have been working on many issues on rural services, and our work is focused on technology-enabled services. And we started our work with financial services because that was the only service that we saw 10 years back, is the only service in which people will actually pay something to get that service. Means they want money, so they are ready to pay for the service being offered, and hence we will get some revenue to survive. So that's how we started working on the area. So what we do is that we provide an enterprise platform enabled by mobile phone for financial services institutions in rural area, mostly microfinance institutions and NGOs and trust involved in microfinance and savings. So they use our applications for transacting with their customer base in the rural area. We have about 1 million customers on our platform across the country who do different kinds of transaction accounts across different kinds of financial product that they use or subscribe to by the institutions, and we get our revenue from that. Second area of our work was we saw that we are providing this platform, but this is not leading to any value addition. Yes, money comes to the people and people use money for various different reasons. And we saw in the last microfinance crisis that money is used for various wrong reasons as well. Consumption, not production. So the primary thing we had been trying to work on was agriculture. The difficult area for us to work on agriculture was that we were not sure. We tried many things. We tried providing market information. Everybody talks about, provide a market info, kisan ko market ka rate bata do, so it is a great validation, and there are Harvard case studies on that. To me, it's a waste of time because the person who can call a cousin in the local market will know market prices better than any of the SMS will ever tell them. So the point was that none of these forecast. There's a rainfall projected in your area, which will lead to washing away of the pesticide if you apply now. Apply it after 3 days. Point being that farmer is able to actually save money in applying right quantity and at the right time in the farms. So this is a very specific advisory, customized for individual farmer. The impact that we have seen is that around 30% reduction in the agri input cost for the farmer, which is they're applying less fertilizer, less pesticide, but still able to increase their productivity by around 10 to 15% over a period of 2 years of research that we have done. So this is what we are talking about, a usable service, useful service, and actually none of this service is free. They are paid by the farmer themselves. They get it on their mobile phone in voice and text both, and they are paying for that service. So that's what we are talking about as useful service, and that's what we are working on. So I'll take some questions as well as if you have anything.